So let me tell you about the day the Galactic Survival Council decided to commit what I can only describe as species-wide stupidity on a cosmic scale. My name is Threx, and I'm a council observer, which is a fancy way of saying I get paid to watch things go horribly wrong and then file reports that nobody reads. I took this job because it was supposed to be easy. You know, observe some agricultural experiments, maybe watch a few mining operations, attend meetings where everyone agrees with each other. Boring. Safe. Exactly what I wanted after my stint monitoring that collapsed wormhole disaster. But no. Instead, I'm standing in the council chamber watching Director Venica, a 3-meter-tall mantis-looking nightmare with an ego the size of a small moon, unveil what she calls the ultimate test of species worthiness. We will select 50 species, Venica announces, her mandibles clicking with excitement, and drop one representative from each onto Hellworld Designation K7. Whichever species survives 30 days proves their superiority. The council chamber erupts in applause. I'm looking around like, did everyone here suffer collective brain damage? Or is it just me? K7 is literally called Hellworld. It's not a nickname. That's its official designation. There's a reason for that. Director, I raise my datapad tentatively. K7 has a mortality rate of 100% for every survey team we've ever sent. Exactly! Venica's eyes gleam with what I'm pretty sure is madness. Only the truly superior will survive. We've already selected our candidates. The strongest warriors, the most intelligent strategists, the most adaptable specimens from across the galaxy. She pulls up a holographic display of the contestants. I see armored behemoths, telepathic hive minds, species that can regenerate from a single cell. And then, there, at the very end of the list, I see him. Director? Who's that? I point at the image of a regular-looking human in Nexion, cargo shorts and a t-shirt that says, I survived the Minnesota State Fair. Oh, that's the human, Dave Jenkins, from Earth. She waves a claw dismissively. Statistically, humans are the weakest species we've invited. No armor plating, no natural weapons, average intelligence at best, and they die if they don't consume resources every few hours. I'm giving him 2 days maximum, 3 if he's lucky and finds shelter. You invited humans? My voice goes up an octave. Director, have you read the files on humans? I skimmed them. Weak bipeds who conquered their planet through excessive breeding and basic tool use. Perfect baseline for comparison. When he dies first, it'll make excellent drama for the broadcasts. I pull up Dave Jenkins' registration form on my pad. His reason for entering. Thought this was for a reality TV show. Sounded fun. Is there a cash prize? Oh, this is going to be a disaster. Contestants are being loaded into drop pods now, Venica announces. Broadcast goes live in 10 minutes. I've already sold streaming rights to 40 different networks. This is going to be the most watched event in council history. I slump into my observation chair and pull up the monitoring feeds. 50 drop pods, 50 species, one planet that's actively trying to kill everything on it. Dave Jenkins is in pod 47, eating something called a granola bar and humming to himself. Hey, his voice crackles over the pod's comm system. Quick question, is this thing gonna hurt when we land? Because I have a bad back and my doctor said I should avoid high-impact activities. The pod tech responds, you will be fine, human. The pod has inertial dampeners. Cool. And just to confirm, someone's picking us up in 30 days, right? I have a dentist appointment on the 31st. Venica is practically vibrating with anticipation. 10 seconds to drop. This is going to be glorious. I'm pulling up my standard disaster report template because I know I'm going to need it. The pods launch. 50 streaks of light descending toward a planet that looks angry even from orbit. May the strongest species win, Venica announces dramatically. I'm already typing. Day 1. Everything is going wrong. Signed, Threx. The pods hit atmosphere and immediately things start going sideways. K7 doesn't just look angry from orbit. Up close, it's basically what would happen if you took every terrible planet in the galaxy and mashed them together into one concentrated ball of nope. The sky is green. Not like a nice, peaceful green. Like a infected wound green. The clouds are purple, and they're raining something that's definitely not water. Is that acid rain? I ask, checking the atmospheric readout. Mild acid rain, Venica corrects. Only a 4.2 on the corrosive scale. Hardly worth mentioning. 4.2 will melt through standard armor plating in 6 hours. Then they should find shelter. That's the point of a survival test. Threx, the monitoring stations are going crazy with data. 50 pods landing across a 200-kilometer radius. The planet's gravity is already doing its weird thing, where it fluctuates randomly between 0.8 and 1.4 standard, which means everyone's going to be experiencing fun, unexpected moments of either floating or being crushed. Pod 7 lands in what looks like a peaceful meadow. Beautiful flowers, soft grass, gentle breeze. The Quarix warrior inside, a heavily armored reptilian species bred for combat, steps out confidently. The flowers immediately try to eat him. Are those carnivorous plants? I'm watching in horror as this 300-pound warrior is getting dragged down by what looks like daisies. Fascinating, Venica murmurs, taking notes. The flora is more aggressive than our initial surveys indicated. The Quarix is screaming. The flowers are winning. His pod beacon goes dark after 4 minutes. 1 down, Venica announces cheerfully. 49 to go. Over the next hour, I watch species die in ways that I'm going to need therapy to forget. A silicon-based life form tries to absorb minerals from the ground and immediately starts convulsing because apparently the soil is toxic. A species of flying hunters gets shredded by wind currents that contain actual rocks. The Mindweavers, a telepathic species considered one of the most advanced in the galaxy, all simultaneously collapse because the planet has some kind of psychic interference that sounds like, according to their last transmission, screaming mathematics. 15 species dead in the first hour. 15. Excellent engagement numbers, Venica says, checking the viewer ratings. We're trending across 47 networks. I'm beginning to hate my job. Then I remember to check on Pod 47, the human, Dave Jenkins. His pod landed in a rocky canyon area surrounded by sulfur vents and next to what appears to be a nest of some kind of reptilian creatures. 6-legged lizard things about the size of earth dogs, covered in purple scales, with mouths full of venomous fangs. The file says they're called razorbacks, and they're extremely territorial and aggressive. I pull up Dave's video feed expecting to find a corpse. Instead, I find Dave sitting on a rock, holding out a piece of something brown, and giving it to one of the razorbacks. Here you go, little guy. It's beef jerky. Teriyaki flavor. I know it's probably not what you're used to, but it's pretty good, right? The razorback, this creature that's supposed to be a vicious predator, is gently taking the jerky from Dave's hand and eating it. Its tail is wagging. No, I say out loud. No, that's not possible. What? Venica looks over at my screen. The human. He's feeding a razorback. They're supposed to attack on sight. It's probably sizing him up before the kill. Just wait. We wait. Dave gives the razorback another piece of jerky. Then he scratches it behind what I guess are its ears. The creature makes a sound that's almost like purring. Good boy, Dave says. I'm gonna call you Stabby. You look like a Stabby. Stabby the razorback curls up next to Dave's leg. That's not normal. I state the obvious. It's a fluke. The creature is probably sick or defective. But Venica's voice has a hint of uncertainty now. Dave starts building a fire using debris from his pod and some sulfur crystals. Stabby watches with interest. 2 more razorbacks approach, probably drawn by the smell of jerky. Dave feeds them too. Hey buddies, you want some snacks? Come here, don't be shy. By the time the first day cycle ends, which is only about 16 hours on K7 because the planet rotates faster than standard, Dave has a small campfire going, 3 razorbacks sleeping around him, and he's singing something called Country Roads, while the acid rain sizzles harmlessly a few meters away under an overhang he found. The death counter reads, 23 species, eliminated. Dave Jenkins' status, sitting by a fire, teaching a venomous predator to play fetch with a rock. This is fine, Venica says, but her mandibles are twitching. He'll be dead by morning. I'm starting to suspect otherwise, and that terrifies me more than anything else on this horrible planet. By day 3, the death toll is catastrophic, and I've stopped being surprised by the creative ways K7 finds to murder people. The stone grinders, a species that literally eats rocks for sustenance, manage to choke on the wrong type of rock. Turns out K7 has rocks that expand when exposed to digestive acids. Who knew? Well, the stone grinders know now. Knew. Past tense. The Vrel Collective, a gaseous hive mind that survived in the vacuum of space, got dispersed by K7's random windstorms and couldn't reconstitute. Just poof, gone on the breeze like someone's bad decision-making skills. And my personal favorite disaster, the Kronos beetles, a species that can slow down their perception of time to avoid danger. They slow down time, stepped carefully around a predator, and then time snapped back and the gravity shifted to 1.4 at the exact same moment. They got pancaked by their own body weight. The universe has a sense of humor and it's dark. 29 species dead in week 1. 29 out of 50. Dave Jenkins has 7 pets. This is unacceptable, Venica hisses, watching the monitors. He's supposed to be struggling. He's supposed to be dying. He's definitely not supposed to be hosting a petting zoo. I pull up Dave's feed. He's built an actual shelter now, using pod debris and some kind of resin he harvested from the carnivorous plants. Those same plants that ate the Quarix warrior on day 1. Dave somehow figured out that if you sing to them, they calm down. He's been singing something called Sweet Caroline and harvesting their sap. And this good boy here, Dave is talking to his camera, apparently keeping a video log, is Razor, Chomper. Found him trying to eat my boot yesterday. We had a little chat about boundaries, and now we're buddies. Aren't we, Chomper? Chomper is a K7 Ravager. The file on Ravagers specifically says, Apex Predator, unkillable by conventional means, responsible for 17 research team deaths. It's got 6 legs, armor plating, and a mouth that opens in 4 directions. Chomper is currently on his back, getting belly rubs and making happy growling sounds. How? Venica whispers. How is he doing this? Director, I think I should pull up the human species file, the complete file, not the summary. Fine. Show me. I display the historical records on the main screen. Humans evolved on Earth approximately 300,000 years ago. Physically weak compared to most predators on their planet. No natural armor, no claws, no venom. They should have gone extinct. Yes, that's what I said. Weak species. Except they didn't go extinct. Instead, they found wolf pups. Wolves? Director. Pack hunters. Apex predators with jaw strength that could crush human bones. And humans looked at these killing machines and said, what if we made them our friends? Venica's mandibles stopped moving. They domesticated wolves into dogs. Then they got bored and did it with cats, which are solitary ambush predators that hunt for sport. Cats don't even need humans, they just tolerate them. Humans made pets out of them anyway. Then they domesticated horses, which are prey animals that can kick hard enough to break spines. Then they domesticated birds of prey. Then they kept snakes, venomous snakes, as companions. For fun, I pull up image after image from Earth's database. Humans with every possible animal. Humans hugging bears. Humans swimming with sharks. Humans teaching raccoons, which are apparently tiny masked chaos agents, to do tricks. There's a human tradition, I continue, where if they see any animal, their first instinct is to ask, can I pet it? Their second instinct is, can I keep it? Their third instinct is, what should I name it? On screen, Dave has just befriended another creature. This one is called a spike crawler. It has poison barbs covering its entire body. Everyone, meet Princess Fluffington the Devourer, Dave announces, scratching the creature under its chin with a stick. She's a little prickly, but aren't we all before our morning coffee, am I right? Princess Fluffington the Devourer purrs like a malfunctioning engine. This is species 28, I note, watching another contestant's beacon go dark. The hive serpents just got dissolved by the acid rain. We're down to 21 contestants. How many pets does the human have now? I check the count. 8. Wait, no. Something just walked into his camp. Make that 9. It's a void stalker, a creature of pure shadow that feeds on fear. It's classified as unable to be contained or controlled. Dave looks at it. The void stalker looks at Dave. You look hungry, buddy. Want some jerky? I've got hickory smoked. It's my last package, but you look like you need it more than me. The void stalker, an entity of pure predatory instinct, tilts its head like a confused puppy. 5 minutes later, it's curled up by the fire next to Stabby. Dave named it Gerald. I report, my voice hollow with disbelief. Venica doesn't respond. She's staring at the screen where Dave is now teaching Chomper to play dead. The apex predator, the unkillable Ravager, rolls over on command, and Dave gives it a piece of jerky. The betting pools have shifted, one of the council aides reports nervously. The human is now favored to win. The odds are 60 to 1 in his favor. That's impossible, Venica snaps. He's human. They're weak. They're fragile. They're making friends with everything that's supposed to kill him, I finish. Director, I think we need to consider the possibility that humans don't survive hostile environments by being stronger than the threats. Then, how? I watched Dave share his campfire with 9 creatures that should have eaten him by now. They make the threats stop being threats, I say quietly. Quote, they turn enemies into family. Week 1 ends. 21 species remaining. One human with a growing pack of the deadliest creatures on K7, sitting around a campfire, singing Wonderwall. I start drafting my incident report with shaking hands. Week 2 is when I start having nightmares. Not about the deaths. I'm unfortunately used to those by now. No, I'm having nightmares about what happens when Dave Jenkins gets back to civilization with his collection of apocalypse beasts. We're down to 12 species remaining. 12 out of 50. And I'm watching contestant feeds that show trained warriors hiding in caves, eating rations, and praying to their various gods that they survive long enough for extraction. Meanwhile, Dave has 11 pets and he's teaching them synchronized tricks. Okay, boys and girls, when I say sit, we all sit. Together. Ready? Sit. 11 creatures of pure murder sit obediently. Dave tosses out jerky treats. He ran out of his original supply on day 4, but apparently figured out how to make jerky from the local fauna. I don't want to know what he's using. Actually, I do want to know. That's the problem. Good job, team. Now, Stabby, you're still snapping too early. We need to work on your patience, buddy. Stabby the Razorback looks embarrassed. A venomous predator looks embarrassed. I need a drink. Director, we have a situation on Sector 7, an aide announces. Venica and I pull up the feed. It's contestant 32, a Forgeborn named Kragath. The Forgeborn are a warrior species that's basically living tanks. They're bred for combat, raised for combat, and exist for combat. Kragath has survived K7 by being smart and ruthless. He's killed 3 other contestants who got too close to his territory. And he's just spotted Dave's camp. Oh no, I whisper. Finally, Venica says, with relief. A real threat. This should solve our human problem. Kragath approaches Dave's shelter. He's 3 meters tall, covered in metallic armor plating that's part of his biology, and carrying a spear he made from pod debris. Dave is sitting by his fire, humming and scratching Gerald the Voidstalker behind where ears would be if it had a corporeal form. Human. Kragath's voice is like gravel in a blender. Your shelter is superior to mine. I am claiming it. Leave or die. Dave looks up. Hey there, neighbor. Name's Dave. You want some food? I've got plenty. Made a stew with some of the local mushrooms. Pretty sure they're not poisonous because Bitey ate some and he's fine. Bitey, a creature that's literally made of acid, burps contentedly. I do not want your food. I want your shelter. This is your final warning. Yeah, see, I can't really do that. Dave stands up, and I notice he's holding something. A stick. He's holding a stick. Against a Forge-born warrior. I've got my friends here and they really like this spot. How about we share? There's plenty of room. I don't share. Kragath raises his spear. This is it. This is where the human finally dies and Venica can say she was right and I can stop having my worldview shattered. Kragath takes 1 step forward. 11 creatures move as one. It's not even a fight. It's a statement. Princess Fluffington the Devourer bristles every poison barb on her body. Chomper stands and opens his 4-directional mouth, showing rows of teeth that could chew through starship hull. Gerald the Voidstalker manifests into something that looks like nightmares had a nightmare. The rest of the pack forms a semicircle around Dave, and the message is crystal clear. Touch our human and become a cautionary tale. Kragath freezes. He's a warrior. He's trained to assess threats, and he's looking at 11 apex predators who are very much on the same team. Perhaps, Kragath says slowly, lowering his spear. Sharing is acceptable. Awesome. Come on in, buddy. You can tell me your name and meet everyone. This is Stabby. This is Chomper. This is Princess Fluffington the Devourer. I watch in absolute disbelief as Kragath, a warrior from a species that doesn't retreat or surrender, sits down by Dave's fire and accepts a bowl of potentially poisonous mushroom stew. This is good, Kragath admits grudgingly. Right? I think the secret is the sulfur seasoning. Gives it a nice kick. How did you domesticate these creatures? My species has tried for generations to tame K7 fauna for military purposes. We failed every time. Dave shrugs. I just treated them nice, you know? Gave them food, talked to them, respected their space, made friends. It's not complicated. Not complicated, Kragath repeats, staring at Chomper, who's now doing the trick where he plays dead for jerky. We lost 17 warriors trying to capture one of those. Yeah, Chomper's a sweetheart once you get to know him. I pull up Earth's historical files again and go deeper. There's a section on animal behavior studies. Humans have been researching why animals respond to them for centuries. One study notes that humans have a specific vocal frequency they use with animals called baby talk that transcends species. Another study shows humans release oxytocin, a bonding chemical, when interacting with animals. Even animals that aren't theirs. Even dangerous animals. There's a phrase buried in the files. Humans will pack bond with anything. It's marked as a curiosity, a quirk of their evolution. It's not a quirk. It's a superpower. Status update. Venica demands, her voice tight. 12 contestants remaining. Human has 11 pets and has just formed an alliance with a forge-born warrior through soup diplomacy. This is not how survival tests work. I don't think anyone told Dave that. On screen, Dave is now showing Kragath how to pet Stabby without getting bitten. Kragath, a being literally designed for war, looks delighted when Stabby's tail wags. We have another situation. An aide interrupts. Contestant 8, the Crystalline Collective, is approaching Dave's position. Are they hostile? Unknown. They're signaling on all frequencies, it looks like. Director, I think they're asking for help. Dave's fire now has 3 different species sitting around it. The Crystalline Collective is injured, cracked from a fall during a gravity shift. Dave is applying resin bandages and humming. You're gonna be okay, buddy. Buddies? How many of you are there in that crystal structure? Anyway, you're safe now. Week 2 ends. 12 contestants. 1 human with 11 pets, 1 warrior ally, and 1 crystalline friend, who he's named Sparkle. Venica sits in silence for a full minute before speaking. Threx, pull the complete xenobiology file on humans. Everything we have. Director, I don't think you want to pull the file. I need to understand what we've done. I pull the file. Thanks for watching. Section that concerns me most is titled Human Expansion Patterns and Environmental Impact. Spoiler alert. Everywhere humans go, they adopt the local ecosystem. And then they start naming things. And then those things become pets, or friends, or protected species. We didn't drop a weak species on Case 7. We dropped an adoption agency with opposable thumbs. Day 28. 3 contestants left. Dave Jenkins, obviously. The Crystalline Collective, who Dave has been nursing back to health and teaching Earth songs to. And contestant 41, a Kryn juggernaut named Vexthor. Vexthor is the species we thought would win. 4 meters tall. Exoskeleton harder than starship armor. Built-in plasma weapons in his arms. And a cultural background that revolves entirely around honorable combat and survival of the fittest. He spent the last 4 weeks methodically eliminating every threat, claiming the best territory, and proving why the Kryn are considered the ultimate warrior species. He's also running out of food, and he just noticed that Dave's camp has smoke rising from it, which means fire. Which means Dave is probably cooking something. This is going to be bad, I mutter, watching Vexthor's approach on the monitors. Finally, Venica says, but she doesn't sound relieved anymore. She sounds nervous. A proper warrior. He'll restore order to this farce. Director, Dave has 12 creatures now. He found another one yesterday. Some kind of swarm entity he calls the boys. 1 Kryn juggernaut against a human and his pets. The Kryn will win. That's what they do. I'm not so sure. I've been watching Dave for 4 weeks now. I've seen him turn a death world into a summer camp. I've watched him make friends with things that are classified as unkillable. I've observed him create a functional pack family out of chaos and teeth. And I've noticed something else. The creatures aren't just following Dave anymore. They're protecting him. There's a difference. Vexthor reaches the perimeter of Dave's camp. He surveys the situation with tactical precision. 13 life signs. 1 human, 1 crystalline entity, and 11 creatures that Vexthor recognizes from his own hunting and avoidance strategies over the past month. Human. Vexthor's voice booms across the camp. I claim your territory and your resources. Surrender or be eliminated. Dave looks up from where he's seasoning what looks like a roasted something on a spit. Hey man, we've got plenty of food. You want to join us? We're having a sort of end-of-the-month celebration. 2 more days and we all go home, right? I do not share. I am Kryn. We take what we need. This is the way of strength. Okay, but counterpoint. Dave gestures with his seasoning stick. Sharing is actually way easier, and nobody has to get hurt. I've got enough food for everyone. Kragath here can vouch for my cooking. Kragath the Forge-born, who's been living in Dave's camp for 2 weeks now, nods enthusiastically. The human's cuisine is surprisingly adequate. I don't want your food, human. I want your resources, your fire, your shelter. And Vex Thor spots Princess Fluffington the Devourer. That spike crawler. They are valuable. I will take it. Oh no. Yeah, that's not happening. Dave's tone changes. It's still friendly, but there's an edge to it now. Princess Fluffington is family. She's not a resource. It is a creature, an animal, a tool for survival. She's a good girl who likes having her chin scratched and she trusts me. So, no, you can't have her. Vex Thor makes what I assume is a Kryn laugh. You would fight me? You are human, soft, weak. I have eliminated 9 contestants. You have survived through luck and these beasts' tolerance of you. Dude, I'm not fighting you. But if you try to take one of my friends, they're gonna have opinions about it. I fear no creature on this planet. I am Kryn. Vex Thor reaches for Princess Fluffington. What happens next lasts approximately 8 seconds, but I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. 12 creatures move simultaneously, not in a wild attack, in a coordinated strike. Chomper goes low, Stabby goes for the legs, Princess Fluffington bristles every poison barb, Gerald manifests into pure terror. The boys swarm in a cloud of tiny biting things, and the rest of the pack executes what can only be described as a military-grade defensive maneuver. Vex Thor, a Kryn juggernaut who has survived everything K7 could throw at him, goes down in 3 seconds. He's not dead. Dave wouldn't let them kill him. But Vex Thor is pinned, covered in bites and stings and general humiliation, with Chomper's 4-way mouth hovering inches from his face. Here's the thing. Dave walks over calmly. These aren't my pets. They're my friends. They chose to stay with me because I treat them with respect, and friends protect each other. You understand? Vex is Thor, experiencing defeat for probably the first time in his life, manages a stunned nod. Cool, Chomper, let him up. Everyone, back to the fire. The pack releases Vex Thor and returns to the camp like nothing happened. Vex Thor slowly stands, checking his wounds. Nothing fatal, but his ego is definitely broken. You have, Vex Thor says slowly, trained them. No, I just fed them and was nice to them. They're good boys and girls. Well, the boys are non-binary, I think, but we haven't really discussed it. This is impossible. The Kryn have tried for millennia to dominate such creatures. Maybe that's the problem. Dave offers Vex Thor a bowl. You tried to dominate them. I just tried to be their friend. Want some stew? You look like you need it. I watch a 4-meter-tall warrior species, bred for conquest, sit down by a human's fire and eat mushroom stew while a void stalker makes room for him. Status? Venika's voice is barely a whisper. 3 contestants remaining. The Crystalline Collective has indicated they're surrendering and requesting continued asylum with Dave. Vex Thor he's eating stew and asking Dave about his training methods. And the human? I look at Dave, who's now teaching Vex Thor how to properly pet a spike crawler without getting poisoned. The human is making friends, I say. Like always. Day 29. Vex Thor has joined the camp. He's not happy about it, but he's there. The Crystalline Collective, who Dave calls Sparkle, has learned 3 complete Earth songs and hums them constantly. Dave is sitting by his fire, surrounded by 12 creatures that should have killed him, 2 alien allies who should have competed against him, and he's humming Don't Stop Believin' while looking at K7's 3 moons. Tomorrow's extraction day, Dave tells his video log. It's been a wild month. Gonna miss this place. Well, not the acid rain or the gravity shifts or the murder plants, but I'm definitely gonna miss hanging out with my new friends. Wonder if they let me keep them? Venika turns off the feed and looks at me. Threx, what have we done? I think about humans and their pack-bonding instincts, their tendency to adopt anything, their ability to make friends with apex predators. I think, I say carefully, we've introduced the galaxy to its most terrifying species, and we did it by accident. Extraction Day. Day 30. The day I realize my job is about to get so much worse. The extraction ship arrives in orbit right on schedule. It's a massive council vessel, designed to retrieve contestants and bring them back for the closing ceremony where Venika planned to award the winner a trophy and brag about her experimental success. That plan lasted until the pilot sent his initial scan report. Director, we have a problem. Contestant 47's biosigns are reading as 14 life forms? That's impossible. Venika snaps. Scan again. Scanning now. Confirmed. 14 distinct biosignatures at the human's location. Director, what did he do? I answer. before Venica can. He made friends. Just send the extraction team down and try not to panic. The extraction team consists of 6 heavily armed security officers trained for hostile retrieval situations. They land near Dave's camp with weapons ready, expecting the worst. What they find is Dave teaching Vex Thor how to play a card game called Go Fish, while Sparkle the Crystalline Collective hums Bohemian Rhapsody, and 12 deadly creatures lounge around a campfire like oversized house. Cats. "Oh hey, you guys here to pick us up?" Dave waves cheerfully. "Perfect timing. I was just packing. Quick question though, what's the pet policy for the return trip?" The extraction team leader, a professional who's seen some stuff, stares at the scene. "Sir, those are K7 apex predators." "Yeah, they're great, right? This is Stabby. This is Chomper. This is Princess Fluffington the Devourer. This is Gerald. These are the boys. Sir, you can't bring them." Dave's smile fades. "Excuse me?" Regulations clearly state that no K7 fauna can be removed from the planet. They're classified as extremely dangerous. Dangerous? Chomper wouldn't hurt a fly. Well, he would, but only if the fly was being rude. "Look, I can't just leave them here. We're a family now." The 12 creatures are now paying very close attention to this conversation. Chomper stands up. Princess Fluffington's barbs start bristling. Gerald begins manifesting ominously. The extraction team leader's hand moves toward his weapon. Every single creature tenses. "Let me make a call," the team leader says quickly, backing up slowly. Smart man. 3 minutes later, I'm in an emergency conference with Venica, the extraction team, and about 15 council officials who are all talking at once. "He can't bring them back to civilization. Those creatures could devastate entire ecosystems. This is unprecedented. Can we just leave him there?" Silence. Venica's voice cuts through the chaos. She looks at me. "Threx, your assessment. Can we safely refuse the human's request?" I pull up the video feed. Dave is sitting with his arms crossed. His 12 creatures are arranged in defensive positions around him. Kragath has picked up his spear. Vex's Thor is cracking his knuckles. Sparkle has stopped humming. "Director, if we refuse, we have 3 scenarios. 1. Dave accepts it peacefully, and we leave the creatures. 2. Dave refuses, and we have to forcefully extract him, which means fighting through 12 apex predators, a Forgeborn warrior, and a Kryn juggernaut, who are all on his side. 3. We leave Dave on K7 and deal with the political nightmare of abandoning a contestant." Scenario 2. One official says, "Send in a combat team. Respectfully, council member, I don't think that ends well. These creatures just took down a Kryn juggernaut in 8 seconds. Our security teams won't do better." Venica's mandibles click rapidly, a sign of extreme stress. "What do you recommend?" I take a breath. "Let him keep them." "What?" "Think about it. We set up this whole test to find the superior species. Dave Jenkins didn't just survive K7. He thrived. He turned the deadliest planet in the quadrant into a functional community. He domesticated creatures we classified as impossible to tame. He did what every other species failed to do. He won. By cheating. He didn't cheat. He just used a strategy nobody expected. The rules said survive 30 days. He survived. The rules didn't say he couldn't make friends." Venica is silent for a long moment. "If we let him bring those creatures back, do you understand the implications? Humans will see this. They'll know that one of their species turned K7 fauna into pets. They'll want to try it themselves." "Yes," I say quietly. "That's exactly what will happen. And Director, we need to make absolutely sure humans never, ever get interested in our planets again." She understands. I can see it in her eyes. Humans are an invasive species with a compulsion to befriend things. If we don't let Dave keep his friends, if we make this difficult, humans will take it as a challenge. "Fine," Venica says finally. "He can keep them. But this is the last survival test we ever conduct with humans. Is that clear? We never invite them to anything again." "Agreed," I say, already drafting that recommendation in my head. The extraction team gets the green light. Dave lights up like it's his birthday. "Seriously? I can keep them? Oh man, you guys are awesome. Hear that, everyone? We're going on a spaceship." The creatures react with what I can only describe as excited chaos. Stabby's tail wags so hard it creates a dust cloud. Chomper does a little victory dance that's terrifying because he's still an apex predator. The boys swarm in happy spirals. Loading them onto the extraction ship takes 2 hours and requires Dave to constantly reassure everyone that it's okay. It's just a big metal box. Yes, Gerald, you can sit next to me. No, Chomper, you can't eat the seats. The trip back to the council station is the longest 6 hours of my life. I spend the entire time monitoring the ship's internal cameras, waiting for something to go wrong. Instead, I watch Dave give all 12 creatures a tour of the ship, explaining things like, "This is artificial gravity. Pretty cool, right?" And, "Yes, that's a viewport. That's what space looks like. We're flying through it right now." Sparkle teaches the entire group a coordinated rendition of "We Are the Champions." When the ship docks at Council Station, there are 47 news crews waiting. The survival test had record viewership. Everyone in the galaxy watched Dave Jenkins adopt a death world. Dave walks out of the ship with 12 creatures following him obediently. Kragath and Vex Thor flanking him, and Sparkle humming the theme song to what Dave called the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The reporters go insane. Dave Jenkins, how did you survive? What's your secret? Are those creatures safe?" Dave grins at the cameras. "Oh, they're perfectly safe. You just gotta be nice to them. Treat them with respect. Anyone can do it, really." No, not anyone can do it. Just humans. Only humans." "Dave," one reporter asks, "would you be interested in participating in other survival challenges? We have several interested planets." "Are you kidding?" Dave's grin gets wider. "That was amazing. You guys have any other fun planets I could visit? I'd love to see what other creatures are out there. The boys here would probably like some new friends." The galaxy collectively shudders. Venica turns to me. "Threx, I'm reassigning you." "To what?" "Human Monitoring Division. We need someone to track what they're doing at all times. Someone to make sure they never get access to protected ecosystems or endangered species, or, heaven help us, any more survival worlds." "Director, that sounds like the worst job in the galaxy." "It is. You're perfect. For it. Start immediately." I watch Dave pose for pictures with his creatures. Chomper is doing the play dead trick for the cameras. Princess Fluffington looks like she's enjoying the attention. Gerald has manifested into something almost cute for the photo op. I pull out my datapad and start my new report. Subject: Humans and the pack bonding phenomenon. Recommendation: never introduce humans to new ecosystems without extensive psychological screening and a minimum 12-month observation period. Additional recommendation: update all galactic wildlife preserve security to prevent human access. Additional recommendation: maybe just avoid humans entirely. Dave is now being interviewed about his experience. "Yeah, K7 was rough at first, but once you get to know the place, it's not so bad. The acid rain has a nice sound when it hits the rocks. Very peaceful. And the creatures are all sweethearts once you—" "Dave," the interviewer interrupts, "are you saying you'd go back?" "Oh, absolutely. I was thinking I could maybe set up a rescue operation. There's probably lots of other creatures there that could use a good home. Maybe start an adoption program? K7 Creature Rescue. Has a nice ring to it, right?" Venica makes a sound like a dying engine. I add one final line to my report. Conclusion: we have made a terrible mistake. Humanity is an apex predator that hunts through friendship. May the universe have mercy on us all. Dave Jenkins leaves the station with 12 new pets, 2 alien friends, 17 job offers from wildlife organizations, and an open invitation to visit Earth's United Nations to discuss interspecies cooperation strategies. Stabby the Razorback is wearing a little vest that says, "Emotional Support Murder Lizard." I hate my job, but someone has to keep track of this disaster. The survival test is over. Humanity won. And that, somehow, is the most terrifying result possible.